in spite of the clear language that was used by her, I'm not gonna fire back. I'm not gonna do that. Am I angry? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But so what? When it boils down to it, the whole prosecution team had a job to do. Can't be mad at somebody for doing their job. Attorney Basie, Attorney Witchow, I respect you guys. Regardless of what you may feel about me, I respect you guys. I really do. I respect you too, Attorney Opera. The difference between the all you guys is you, Attorney Opera, I don't respect how you did your job. And I never will. But I refuse to get in a name calling. I refuse to raise my voice. I refuse to do any of that. And I realized that last night. The part of me that I don't understand why it goes the way it goes had every intention to come in here and lay into you. Out of frustration and out of the fact of feeling that I needed to defend myself by some of the things you said. How you had the audacity to speak on situations that had nothing to do with this tragedy, as if you were there, as if you had intimate details, as if you knew everything that led up to those allegations. Just by reading the police report. I think every situation is unique in its own way. It all has different circumstances that leads to ultimately what ends up happening. Reading the police report doesn't give you the right to pass judgment on a situation that frankly is none of your concern. Honestly, you would think for someone that's been doing your job as long as you have, you would think you would understand that. You would think that you have some kind of integrity. Even with that, not gonna bash, not gonna say anything disrespectful. I'm not gonna call you anything other than your God-given name. As far as the integrity, though, I won't ever be able to wrap my head around why you did things the way you did it. Made reference to this being an open and shut case. Yet you needed a whole team to prosecute an open and shut case, as you say. And again, no disrespect to Attorney Basie, Attorney Whitchild. I feel like they was the reasons why your case had any strong points, not from you. $31 years, you said. Well, yeah, you did say 31 years that you've done this. 31 years. I don't believe you're that bright. Yet, I respect you having the resolve to take on something of this magnitude for this community. Can't do nothing but respect that. And regardless, when I leave this courtroom, I will have no ill feelings with anyone. I know this is being live streamed. I believe even in other countries. I've gotten some mail from Germany, Belgium, a lot of it hate mail, which doesn't. I stopped reading it months ago, so it doesn't really affect me. It's irrelevant. I do want to say something to everybody watching, as far as those who take the time, spend the energy and money to write and spew hate, not just against myself, but my family, my children. I have no value in anything that you say. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. Keep up the bad work. To everyone else, the people that have sent letters of support, I thank you for that, because it's not an easy thing to show love and support to someone who's the most hated man on the planet at this point right now in time. It's not easy. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And I thank you for that. My family thanks you for that. I want to say to the mother of my children, the mothers, excuse me, of my children, obviously, I think I should start with the obvious, Erica Patterson. I want you to know, if you're watching, I always have love for you. You're one of the mothers of my children. I can never hate you. I refuse to go that route. Always have love for you. I always respect you. We got a beautiful daughter. I haven't always been right in the things that I've said, things I've done in regards to you. What I will say is, it always takes two. I pray that at some point you will reconcile with your children, and that you remember who I am here in my heart. That you remember that. My oldest son, who's an adult, his mother, beautiful, beautiful spirit. I thank her for the times that she was there to listen when no one else was, when I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on in life, and I was being pulled to this direction or that direction, and just couldn't figure things out. She would take the time to sit and listen, and I thank her for it. Times where I had nowhere to go, she would find me in the back of abandoned cars or trucks or something of that nature, and she would do things to help. You know, it's a lot of people, a lot of good people out there in the world still. She's one of them. I thank you, Angel. That's her name too, by the way, Angel. When I was all over the place mentally, couldn't sit still, couldn't make decisions, trying to figure out how life would go being young parents, the both of us. She never once judged me. She never once ridiculed me and downed me because of my issues. She always was willing to be there. I'm eternally grateful for that. Jessica, my youngest daughter's mom. I believe it's a reason why God puts anyone in your life at the time that He does. You came into my life at a time where everything was chaotic. I didn't have a clue how to even begin to put one foot in front of the other. You came into my life at a time where I was pondering, what did I even have to live for? And in the midst of that, you gave me my daughter, my baby girl. I always get emotional talking about her in particular, because she's such a daddy's girl. We're very, very close. Very close. I felt like when Missy was born, that was God giving me a chance to make good on the mistakes I made with my older two children at the time. I felt like that was redemption. Everything that I didn't do right before I had the chance to right that wrong. She's probably the single-handed reason why I'm even still breathing. She's such a light in my life. Such a light. She doesn't even understand the extent of everything that's going on. She doesn't know what it is not to be able to talk to me when she wants to be able to see me when she wants to. She just doesn't get it, and I know that. And I'm mindful that there are people in this community that feel the same exact way. That lights in their life that were taken. So without being insensitive to that, I'll move past that. I just want to tell my baby girl that I love her. I love you, Missy. My baby boy was born in June, during the time that I've been here. His mother, Quita. I regret not being able to be there for the times that both of them needed me the most. It's not an easy thing for a woman to go through a pregnancy with virtually no help. Having to move residencies because of this tragedy, not feeling safe while she was pregnant, not feeling safe, receiving threats, things like that. And I wasn't there. I know what it's like to be at the birth of your children and see them born and cut the umbilical cord and to do all those things. I've done that. And to not be able to do it for her and for him. To only know what he looks like because of pictures. For her to not feel safe to be in the city or be around my family members to build that rapport, because she can't mentally deal with everything that comes with. And for me to not be able to help her, for me to not have any words to uplift her, her expressing her anger to me, not knowing how everything would go. It's hurtful. I want her to know. I believe God has a plan for everything, and it's about doing the best you can inside of God's will. Say what you want about me. I'm not gonna walk away from my children. I refuse to walk away from my children. I love all four of you. And that won't stop for nothing. No matter what. A lot of reference yesterday was made about death. In reference to opinions towards myself. I do not fear death. Not one bit. I do not fear death because I'm in Christ. Whether we believe it or not, at some point, we all have a date. Everyone on this planet has a date. In the word, it says that it is appointed to man once to die. The way I see it, it's inevitable, so why fear it? I'm 1,000,000% confident in where I'm going when this is all over. 1,000,000% confident. Regardless of what anyone thinks or says, I'm 1,000,000% confident in where I'm going. We all got to stand before the judgment seat of Christ at some point. All of us. Nobody's any better than the next person. Contrary to belief, I do not feel like I'm above anyone. I don't feel like I'm superior to anyone. I breathe air, I drink water, I eat, I go to the bathroom, I bleed just like anyone else. I'm no better. a human being. I'm not a monster. I'm a human being that's been trying to figure out for 35 years. Questions that I've never got the answer to. I noticed yesterday in a lot of the victims' statements that a lot of the victims are going through the healing process. Believe it or not, I've prayed for all victims' family members for a year now to be able to make it through that process. But it is a process. It won't happen overnight. There was a big question of if I was paying attention, if, this, that, or the third, which I won't really get into. I definitely was paying attention. And I heard in a lot of those statements, people that were having their own mental health issues. Some recognizing what it was, others not so much. But that's what it was. A lot of things that you just can't quite wrap your head around. Believe it or not, you were talking to someone that's dealt with those same types of questions for a long time. Questioning life itself. Questioning what's the point of being here to go through all this pain, to go through all the doubts, feelings of inadequacy I can relate to firsthand. Being made fun of, being joked about, being jeered at, being bullied. Growing up, I can relate to all of that because I've been through it. Not knowing if you even want to wake up after you go to sleep. I've been through that. Wondering if you'll even be missed when you're gone. The weirdest hours of the morning, just sitting up and just finding something to stare at. Hoping that an answer may just fall out of the sky on you. Me, myself, I've like I said, raised Christian, but it's been so many times through the years that I've doubted God. It's time. I think everyone in this room can say that. If you believe, you've doubted, you've questioned, you've wondered. Been in situations that just can't figure out why. How do you get? How did I get here? What did I miss? What didn't I catch? What didn't I see? What? How did it ever get to this? How did it ever end up with this? At some point we've all been in that position. Obviously, in my shoes, it's a little different. I said before, for the people that don't have any understanding, I can't sit here and be what people would want me to be. We're all individuals. We all have our own ways of looking at things, and we all have our own personalities or whatnot. That's what makes us unique. Is our individualism. How one person may react to something, another person may feel the same exact way, but probably not react the same way. People can agree on certain things and still have a different approach. And listening to all the victims yesterday that had the courage to speak and state their opinions and vent their frustrations and their anger and everything. I heard a lot of what should have been done, what could have been done as far as to the remorse. I apologize for not showing people what they wanted to see. I just ask that there be understanding to that there's a side out of the courtroom that's not seen. What's seen in the courtroom is just a small piece of the whole puzzle. Just a fraction. The majority of the time, I'm not standing in the courtroom or sitting in the courtroom. It's not a day it's not an hour that goes by that I haven't thought about what's happened, that I haven't tried to wrap my head around how something like this could happen. Where I haven't thought about the pain that you all are in. What was lost and in the fashion that it was lost. Contrary to what people may think, you get to a point though, and obviously it's different with me being in this position and people being on the other side of the coin, so to speak. It's a different position. On my end, you get to a point to where you're just tired. You get to a point where you've cried all the tears you can cry. You've prayed all the prayers you can pray. You never stop praying, but it's repetitive at this point. You get to a point where you're completely drained. You don't know what else you have to give. There was many court dates in the beginning of all these proceedings that I wasn't even sure if I can even come in the courtroom without breaking down. It was times where I didn't even feel like I was going to make it through a court proceeding. When I did have representation, it was times where I told my representation, no, I don't. And that wasn't because I just didn't want to come in the courtroom. It was because mentally I could not handle it. I couldn't. Having to be prepped for everything that I was gonna walk into. Them telling me, it's gonna be this kind of atmosphere and expect this and it's just like, wow. How am I gonna do this? I want everyone to know though, when you walk out of the courtroom and the cameras aren't rolling anymore, you don't have the world looking at you anymore. That's when you can feel like you're human again. When you can go back to your cell, drop your tears, pray, punch your mat if you're frustrated. Sleep it off. Whatever you may choose to do. And I wonder how things would be different if the cameras was rolling then. When we remove all this courtroom, how would it be then? We've all done things in our life that we regret, that we're not proud of, that we don't know what we were thinking. That's been like a roller coaster for me in this year, a roller coaster. And obviously, just everyday life, some days are better than others. That's just life in general. Some days are just better than other days. You heard my best friend speak a little bit earlier about I guess it would be more happier times, but even then, you put on a smile to hide the pain. Long before November 21st, 2021, long before that day, I was struggling. Long before. Feeling dead inside. Then feeling hopeful. Then feeling depressed. Then feeling happy. Then feeling upset. Just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. %90 of the time not even knowing why you're going from point A to B. Why is it going like this? So I think you do a lot of things to numb that. Some people have different things that help them numb it. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to alcohol. Some people turn to many different things. Some people isolate themselves. Some people, however you deal with it, it's how you deal with it. At that point in my life, I chose to put up a front. No one seen me for how I truly felt, then there would be no questions. You see someone and they always have an upbeat appearance or seem to be smiling or seem to be in a joyful mood, there's no reason to like what is there a question? How much turmoil could it be? The first thing they would say is every time I see them, they're okay. It's not okay. It's not. But I do believe one thing though. As long as you have breath in your body, no matter what you're going through, where you may be, what struggles you have, what you can't figure out, you have to find a way to press forward. You have to keep faith, and you have to press forward. I think the Apostle Paul said it best. The Apostle Paul said it best when he said, one thing I do, forgetting what's behind me and straining toward the upward call of which Christ has taken a hold of him. Straining forward, which acknowledging that it's difficult, acknowledging that there'll be opposition, there'll be hurdles to jump, there'll be mountains to climb. It's not gonna be easy. Acknowledging that by saying straining to move forward. That's what I've been learning. Is it frustrating that sometimes people mistake that for not caring? Yeah. It's very frustrating. As hard as it is, you cannot turn back the hands of time. You can't. As much as I wish I had the power to do that, I can't. So I have to look at life going forward, not backward. I have to look at reality. I've moved past the actual tragedy of the day of November 21st, 2021, but I have not moved past uplifting this community in prayer, and I will continue to do that until it's my time to pass on. I won't stop uplifting the communities in prayer, the victims, the families, Regardless of how anyone feels, I will continue to pray for them because that's what I want my heart to reflect. And I don't want it to be misinterpreted what I'm saying by that, by saying I've moved past the actual day. To clarify that so there's no misconception, is that none of us can go back and change what happened. We can't. But that doesn't mean that my life has to continue to be defined by that. I refuse to continue